Today on Asian Mirror, we have with us Minister Vasudeva Narayankar, whose ministry has initiated a national forum named Convention of National Unity. Welcome to Asian Mirror, Minister. What is the objective of organizing this convention to aid in developing national unity?
It is to bring the attention of the different groups of people living in this country who have not yet become formed into one nation to consider the question of what national unity is, and secondly, what challenges lie ahead in achieving national unity, and thus initiate a discussion and a debate about the question of national unity with a view to canvass among the people the need of national unity. That is the purpose of this convention. This convention has about 1,500 participants who have been drawn from the different segments and sections of the population to represent almost all sections, and we hope that this charter that we have drafted, which has already been circulated and to which amendments have been made according to the views expressed, will ultimately become adopted as a celebration on this occasion, and thereafter make the charter the basis on which we will proceed with the discussion for national unity as a post-event process. The policy of forming a united nation, a Sri Lankan united nation, is already declared. Now it is a question of how do we achieve this? How do we arrive at this unity of the nation, for which we have identified certain areas which needs to be addressed. Culturally, we need to appreciate mutually one another. Then the learning of the two languages, or now with English, all three languages by everybody, and making it possible for anybody to communicate with one another in any one of those three languages. Then bringing about the mutual respect of one another while appreciating the cultures of one another, as I said earlier. Finally, the question of how we will have the political agreement among the people regarding the structure of governance. So now it has it has become established that we have a unitary state together with provincial councils. Now the question is about how this can get worked out. The provincial councils within a unitary state, and with what powers should they begin and what powers can they exercise. So there has to be an agreement on this, about which a dialogue is welcome.
So, Minister, do you think the national unity of Sri Lanka has come under threat due to the influence of various groups and extremist and fundamentalist groups who are operating in various sectors?
Here we have that problem that needs to be addressed, that needs to be really challenged. The extremism on all sides. Extremists think that there should be no unitary government. They do not believe in provincial council-led regional autonomy. They want separate state. Extremists, who are mainly representative of those people living outside the country, the Tamil people, who think that there should be a separate country, separate Tamil country within this island. They are one section of extremists. Then on the other hand, we have the others who think there should not be the provincial councils and the regional autonomy. There should be only the unitary government, and everything should be done from the center of the government. So these two extremes need to be challenged by the people. So we have to educate the people, make the people conscious, and form a public opinion to reject even from the Tamil standpoint that a separate state is not acceptable within this island, and that the Tamils are already, as represented through the Tamil National Alliance, declare that they are for a unified Sri Lankan government and a unified state. They only wish to have that the regional autonomy be worked out through the provincial councils. So that amount of agreement is there as far as the Tamil people within the country are concerned. But those who live outside the country, they agitate for a separate state, which need to be rejected by all people, not only the Sinhalese but also the Tamils. And thus we begin at the point of there being a unified country at the starting point. Then within the unified country, unified state, how do we work out the regional autonomy? And that is what we need to discuss and debate about. And in that, there are those who do not believe in a regional autonomy. On the side of the Sinhalese, they too need to be challenged. And the public opinion must be developed in order to accept the regional autonomy of the Tamil people living where they are the majority community in the areas where they live.
So, Mr. During the UNHRC session in Geneva, which was conducted recently, religious intolerance and harassment against minorities gained ground as one of the major allegations against the government. Do you think that could have been prevented by introducing something like that? Please.
Well, there cannot be an allegation against the government about religious intolerance. The government has offered tolerance to all religions and ensured the rights of all religions and the freedom of religious worship. The government and the constitution have guaranteed. But there are elements who think in terms of supremacy of one religion over the other, and they go about causing problems in isolated pockets, which is again not shared by the large majority of these people in the country. But the government needs to act promptly in order to quell such disturbances and to prevent such acrimony developing among the different religious groups, or interference or intolerance regarding one another's religious worship practices. So we need to have them prosecuted under the law, and I think many of them are today before courts for having indulged in such intolerant actions of trespassing into some of the religious places of worship of other religions and causing disturbances and causing damage. They are already before the courts, and the government has taken all action necessary under the laws. We want to bring in new laws where we do not want even hatred be spoken, and thus create disharmony among the religious communities by speaking out words of hatred against one another. So that law will also come into the penal code in the course of time, and then we should be able to prosecute and enforce the law in a manner that such incidents do not occur.
And Minister, it is widely speculated that some of these extremist groups are hugely backed by some elements in the government. So, what is your view on that?
Well, some of these elements or these groups who go about interfering with the other religious groups or their worship, their right to worship, their places of worship, who trespass and who cause disturbances, have all sources of support. I do not know of any government individual who is supportive of these groups. But I am unable to guarantee that there aren't any who would be supportive of these disturbing groups, or these groups who engage in disturbances of religious worship. I cannot guarantee that there aren't, but not to my knowledge are there in the government any who support these elements, extreme elements, who go around causing disturbances to other religions.
And also, there's an issue about introducing the bilingual national anthem. What is your take on that?
That is my proposal, that we should have a bilingual national anthem, and the same national anthem with the same words and the same meaning, but instead of having two versions, to make it one version, both Sinhala and Tamil together. And that is still not accepted by the cabinet.
Minister, do you think you have enough support from the government to achieve this task?
Well, the support has to be built up. Support has to be mobilized. Already there are substantial numbers who are the same view as I am regarding the national unity, regarding religious tolerance, and regarding harmony among the different ethnic groups and how to promote it. But these need to be further developed in order to get a larger number in the government, among the members of parliament, among the ministers, to speak out openly in support of some of these proposals that we have advanced.
And finally, Minister, one of the main allegations against this government is that the extremists are actually ruling the roost, and not people like you who are supportive of, ethnic and religious pluralism. So, what is your view on that?
I don't think that is correct. There are the nationalist forces within this government, then there are the democratic forces, then there are the progressive forces. All these forces are combined in this UPFA. Now we represent the left-wing forces within the UPFA. So within the UPFA you find different strands of the political spectrum, and among them are Sinhala nationalists as well. But the Sinhala nationalists are balanced out by the others who are also part of the government like us. So the government is a balanced government which has a even approach to the question of the ethnic and national aspirations of the different communities. Even approach.
Thank you very much for your time, Minister, and we believe that your effort will bear fruit in the near future.
Thank you.